everyone. Today we're going to be talking about and making some artwork based on dot painting in Australia, originally created by the Aboriginal people, indigenous community in Australia. So the first thing that we need to do is make sure that you guys have all of the materials that we're going to need for class today. We need a palette to put paint in. We need a piece of paper, or even like a piece of cardboard, or a piece of poster board, something a little bit thicker than like printer paper, because we're going to be painting, and if you paint on printer paper, it's going to soak through. So if you have even just a piece of cardboard, because we're going to cover the whole thing, or if you have some watercolor paper, or you can even do it on the back of a paper plate as well. So for your palette as well, that can be your paper plate, or it can be, I know moms out there, we all have spare Tupperware lids that don't match anything. You can use the top of a Tupperware lid as well. Really anything that is okay with your mom to put paint in. Maybe even the top to some kind of a plastic container, something along those lines. All right, so we need our palette. We need the paper. We need a pencil to draw our animal together. And then the other thing, what are we gonna paint with? We're not gonna paint with our fingers. We're gonna paint using Q-tips. Any brand will do, doesn't matter. I got these at the dollar store. We'll need a pretty good amount of them. I'd say 1, 2, 3, probably like 6 to 10, depending on how many colors you use. So I'm gonna set those aside. All right, the first thing that we're gonna talk about is, where is Australia? Looking at our map here, do you guys know where we are? We are right here in Michigan. That little bitty mitten right there in the there's our Upper Peninsula. I'll even cover that in too. Right here in North America. So we've got Canada, the United States, and Mexico. North America. We have South America, then we have Central America right here, Africa, which in this map is still not big enough, because the United States should really just fill this little space in here. They always mess up the size of Africa. Then we've got Europe. We haven't even come to Australia yet, right? We've got Asia, Russia, and then we've got this nice, what looks like a huge island down here. This is Australia, where we're going to be focusing on today. So I'm going to color that in too. Australia is super far away from the United States. This map is flattened out. So if it was round, to get to Australia from Michigan, we first fly to California, then we fly to Hawaii, then from Hawaii we fly all the way around to Australia. So really, if this was round, you can see it. Then we'd fly from Hawaii to Australia. Come in right here. Bing, 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 we've arrived. Australia. Just like in the United States, just like in any country in the world, we have the first people to be here were indigenous, or the native people to that country. So here we have Native Americans, and in Australia we have the Aborigines. Aboriginal people. And they are the ones that created this amazing piece of artwork, or style of artwork that we're going to talk about today. originated thousands of years ago in Central Australia. In Central Australia, it's super, super dry, like kind of like the western part of the United States, full of deserts and really arid, dry conditions. And they developed this type of painting, which you're showing right now. They developed this type of painting for body painting to make it look like your body was shimmering and moving in light, in the sun, in fire, during different ceremonies. And then they transferred that style onto flat surfaces as well. Again, it seemed to be really magical and mystical within their culture. So the dots were used to fill in the designs, and also used to obscure sacred aspects of story from those in the public domain. So when they were doing their artwork, would have other parts of the story beyond like the main feature that only people from that culture would be able to see and understand. So they were trying to keep parts of their culture for themselves, keep them really sacred, like sacred texts. All right, in the 70s, this type of artwork became really popular and really came out into the public domain. And in the 70s, a group of artists from Papua Tula became really famous, and dot painting went from just being within Australia to really becoming known all the way around the world. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be developing and creating a piece of artwork inspired by the amazing dot work from Australia. So the first thing that we need to do is draw our animal. I'm always talking about this in my classes, but we want to make this animal really, really big. So I am going to draw a turtle, but you can draw whatever you want. And we want this to be really basic. So if you're drawing a shark, we don't want your shark to be like, let's put our shark in here. Funny looking shark, sorry guys. So here's our dorsal fin coming off. Here's our big fin. There's two underneath here. Okay, so we don't want to come in and put all the teeth in, because that's something that we will do in our painting. We don't want to come in and put the gills in, and so forth. We want it to be just the basic shape, which we'll see in my turtle. So a turtle shell has what? A big oval, right? I'm gonna put my oval kind of in the middle center between the top and the paper. Big oval. And you can see because I'm drawing an oval, you can see all my extra lines. That's okay, because I'm gonna cover them up with paint. That's the beauty of paint. And then you need legs, right? So coming in with my little turtle legs. One turtle leg, two turtle legs. Not legs. Come up with another turtle leg, and then another. Okay, so getting your turtle legs in there. It's okay if they're not quite perfectly shaped, but you gotta have a turtle head, right? Here's my turtle head. I'm even gonna give him a little turtle tail. Gives out like little turtle tails. All right. You're doing a sea turtle, it could be a little bit different than this. All right, the other thing is too, as you're drawing this, make sure you're not drawing it too super dark either, okay? So after looking at all those paintings, we've got a pretty good idea about where to begin. We're gonna start by just outlining our animal. You could be drawing a cat, you could be drawing a giraffe, you can be doing any kind of painting that you want to. All right, so, all right, we have our turtle on here already. Now as you can see, I've added paint to my palette. And remember, your palette doesn't have to be this pie tin like I have. It can be really anything that in your house that your mom says is okay to put paint on. A piece of cardboard, you can put it in an egg carton, you can put it in an old Tupperware lid, whatever you have that's available to you. All right, so the only colors that I put on my palette are red, yellow, blue, the primary colors, white and black. The magical thing is that, well, first of all, everybody usually has these colors. If you don't have one of these colors, that's okay. We'll work with what you have. Is that you can mix all of these colors in different combinations to make every color in the whole world. So if you wanted to make purple, you mix some blue and you mix some red and you get purple. If you mix some yellow and you mix red, what color do you get? Orange, very, very good. If you mix yellow and you mix blue, what color do you get? Green, awesome guys. All right, so if you want to make pink, how do you make pink? That's right, red and white make pink. If you want to make a really dark, broody red, you'd add a little bit of black, okay? If you want to make a darker purple, add a little bit of black. Or the same thing if you want to make it green. All right, so first things first, we're gonna start by outlining our animal. I did some testing here to see how it would go, and I started with white and I wasn't very happy with that. So we're gonna wait for that section to dry a little bit, but we're gonna start by outlining. I am gonna start outlining with yellow because it's nice and bright and happy. So you can see I've taken my Q-tip and I'm dabbing it in there, and I'm getting a pretty good amount of yellow on my Q-tip. Then I'm just gonna go dot, dot, dot. I'm running out, so I'm gonna put some more in there all the way around my turtle. Isn't this fun? This is fun. I wish my kids were here. We'll have to do this project together later. Dot, and you can see I'm not being super worried about making sure my dots are right perfectly next to, like, the same distance apart, because I want to make sure you guys aren't like, oh, Miss Beth, please move forward. All right, I'm gonna come over the top of this white. We'll see what happens. See, it made a little bit lighter yellow. Bring some more bright yellow in there. Okay. Dot, dot, dot. There, you can hardly see my mistakes. That's the beauty of painting. You get to do it over again. So I am not going to use this Q-tip again on this side. I'm gonna tip it over to the other side. And I'm gonna bring in my next color. For me, that's gonna be red. So I'm grabbing my red and tap, 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 getting it nice and filled up with paint. Take a look, see, nice and red. And I'm gonna start my dots a little bit further in from my yellows. And I'm gonna go dot, 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 dot. You can make little sound effects if you want to. Boom, 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 or cheek, 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 cheek. However you want to. Moms, I'm sorry. No, that's probably annoying. We'll get through this together. You could be doing this project right alongside your kids too. I hope you are, actually. Dot, 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 dot. Oh, we're starting to get a nice little pattern here. Super cool. All right, so I'm gonna set this aside. So I would recommend having just a spare sheet of paper sitting alongside you that you can set your used Q-tips on, because you might want to come back to this Q-tip as well if you want to use red or yellow again. All right, my next color is gonna be, I think I'm gonna make my next color purple. So I'm gonna grab some red, switch sides. I'm gonna grab some blue, and put it right beside so I don't mess up my blue since I didn't use that yet. Then I'm gonna take, since I have a red dotter already, I'm gonna mix the two together. I'm gonna grab a little bit of white actually. Add that, because I want it to be a lighter purple. Mixing it in. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, that's pretty. Q-tip, same thing. Because it's mixed together, I'm not going to have as much, but it'll be okay. I might have to make more. Dot, dot, dot. Grabbing some more purple. Dot, 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 dot. More purple. I made a little mistake right there, but that's okay. It'll blend right in because there's going to be so many dots here. Alright, looking good. Alright, I'm going to come in with some black next. I'm going to take a little bit of blue in there, but because I'm using black, it's going to really cover that up. Same thing, dot, 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 dot. Is not very round, but that's okay. It's the beauty of art, guys. We just got to go with what our materials give us sometimes and then make adjustments as we go. So you see, for me to make it rounder, I just tipped my Q-tip a little bit more straight up and down. So you can try that for yourself as well. All right. So continuing, so I'm going to come down here and do my, so for you, you would continue making those circles or whatever shape you have until the whole body of your turtle is filled up. So for me, I'm going to come down here and work on this leg next. I'm going to start with some blue. Same thing all the way around my others, but you don't have to do that. If you want to make each leg different, feel free to do that. Here's my tail. Ones that I didn't quite have enough paint on. Try to only do them one time though, because it does kind of mess up the dot shapes. Okay. All right, so again, just like the the turtle shell, we want to keep going around with different colors. Or maybe you've decided with your feet you want to just have everything red here in the middle. You can do that too. But I'm continuing to follow the lines of the curve until everything is filled in. There we go. All right, looking pretty cool, right guys? All right, so now I'm gonna do the head. I want some green, I think. So I'm going to take my blue Q-tip, scoop up some, actually I'm just gonna mix it right here because they're touching each other, so I can kind of scoop it together. Maybe that's how yours is, maybe you need to do it in a different section. Or if you have just green paint, you can do that as well. All right, so I'm gonna get a clean Q-tip, I'm gonna scoop up some of that green, and then same thing, dot, dot, dot. All right, now I've just got my tail left, and I think I want to keep that tail. Remember, you guys have filled in that turtle shell. Taking your time, pausing it if you need to, or coming back to it to do this on your own. Now, as we saw in some of those pictures that we looked at earlier, they created different shapes out here with their dots. So I think I'm gonna bring in some circles. I'm just gonna draw some circles so I have some nice outlines to work with. Big circle up here. Or if you're drawing a sea turtle, maybe you have some kelp, some curvy lines coming up behind your turtle. If you've drawn a giraffe, maybe there's a tree. And we're gonna treat these circles just like we treated the rest of our turtle. So choosing our colors, I'm going to do some blue. We're gonna outline them first. Maybe bringing your dots a little closer than what I am. I'm doing it just so that it's the video is a little bit faster. That's okay. So what I'm gonna do, since I slooped some paint, is I'm just going to come in with a clean Q-tip and clean it up. If your mom is there to help you, maybe she can help you, or your dad. Because what can we do with paint, guys? We can paint over it. So like I'm just going to grab some white, since that's pretty dry. So it'll dry by the time we get to it, and you'll hardly be able to see it when we're all finished. All right, so coming around with my blue, making sure I don't have too much on my Q-tip now. Doop, 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 doop. This is really nice. I recommend this, parents, to do this as well. It's kind of meditative. It's fun, it's easy. Probably has the materials at home. All right, I'm gonna come in with my yellow next. Michigan fan. And do this nuts all the way around. And you can move pretty fast too once you get the hang of this. I'm gonna leave that one because I still got that wet paint there. I don't want it mixing with my yellow. And you can even do alternate colors with these dots too. So if you wanted to do blue, white, blue, white, blue, white, you can totally do that. Lots, as with art, everything is about what you are trying to communicate. And if you're fancier than I am today, feel free to do So just like the turtle, filling in those dots, going all the way around until you are happy with what you have. And then what we're gonna do next is we're gonna integrate everything together. So I am going to get some black. I don't use that much black here yet. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start off by going all the way around my turtle. Maybe you want to do different shades of blue if you've got a sea turtle, or different shades of green you can add, or really experiment with this. If anybody is familiar with pointillism from the Impressionists, you'll know that when you step back, these paintings look completely different, because your eye naturally draws a line between the dots. Alright, so just like the turtle, we're going to continue. I'm going to do another row of black, I think. I like that. Two rows of black. Now I'm starting to butt up against the circle. So what I'm going to do is take my black here and go around my circle too. So we start to connect these shapes together. So down here, same thing. It's connecting to my circle. Connecting the shapes together. Same here, coming around. We start to create motion and rhythm within the painting. All right, so as you can see, I'm going to come around and do another color. I think I'm going to do yellow. And I'm going to do that same thing going all the way around. Together through the dots. So continue on with this project yourself, building out these lines or building out from the circles until they hit the turtle itself. I'll come back with a completed image so that this video doesn't get too much longer of what I've accomplished here, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with your dot paintings based on the Aborigines from Australia. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. Ask any questions in the comments. I'll get back to you. See you soon. Bye-bye. All right, guys, welcome back. I have completed my dot painting for the day. As you can see, I went back in and made some bigger dots around my turtle so that he would come out, he'd just pop a little bit more. I went in and filled in all my circles and connected everything. I decided that I wanted some bigger dots throughout my painting as well. You can feel free to do that as well. Like I came back in, I said, I want my turtle to have eyes. So I gave my turtle some eyes. But feel free to experiment and do whatever feels right to you and your painting. I hope you enjoyed this today. I look forward to seeing what you've created in the comments. Feel free to post a picture of what you've done. I hope everything's going well in your guys' lives. Keep making art, guys, in whatever way you can. Bye-bye.